Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel. Here to talk some Miami Heat breaking news, some basketball talk. Haven't done in a while, man, but Jimmy Butler is the center of attention right now in the whole NBA world. Things have officially, that's the key word, gotten ugly in Miami. So as plenty of you guys know, Jimmy Butler is requesting a trade. He wants out. I mean, the writing now it's official. Before you were reading into it, there were a couple tea leaves out there. Does Jimmy want out? Does he not want out? Do the Heat want to trade him? And I'm honestly taken away by this all, man. Honestly, man, as a guy that has been a fan of Jimmy Butler, who has brought us so much joy over the last couple of years as a Heat fan. Um, we haven't had this much fun since Wade was kind of in the prime of his career. It hasn't been fun really, but it has been these last couple seasons with Jimmy Butler because he's been able to exceed expectations, take us to the promised land a couple times. I mean, this is a guy who carried the Heat to 2 NBA finals, 3 Eastern Conference finals. That's pretty hard to do in about a 4-year span. Very hard to do. And majority was, with just minimal help. I mean, think about it. Jimmy Butler was out there pretty much by himself. The first NBA finals run, Tyler Hero was not ready yet. Bam Adebayo wasn't ready yet. Hell, Bam Adebayo got hurt. Goran Dragic was the second leading scorer. He got hurt, right? And then in the second NBA finals run, Tyler Hero was banged up that whole entire postseason. Bam Adebayo, another guy that just wasn't ready yet. And Jimmy Butler never had that secondary guy next to him to kind of go to war with that you see these other teams have. Like Boston, they got Tatum and Brown. Jokic has, the Denver Nuggets have Jokic and Murray. LeBron over there has LeBron and AD. There's always just a powerhouse of at least 2 go-getters out there to win a championship. You got Giannis and Dame in Milwaukee, even though they haven't won yet. It's just normally that's the recipe. And it leads me, man, to just, I'm a bit upset, man. I'm a bit upset because honestly, I understand it from both sides. I understand it from Pat Riley's side, not wanting to give Jimmy Butler the extension because Jimmy Butler is a guy who is not available throughout the whole season. He does not play every game. He misses a ton of games. He comes back for the playoffs. He does go off in the playoffs, but it's just building bad habits. You know what I mean? And Jimmy Butler's a guy that's aging. Are you really, a guy that gets hurt as the amount of times that he does, unfortunately, even though he does show up for the playoffs, are you really going to commit $50 million over the next 4 years, giving him that 3-year extension that he wants when he's 35 years old? He's slowing down. You got to understand it's a sticky situation. And then for Jimmy Butler's case, he knows, hey, I've brought this team to the finals. I brought this team to Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. I want my money. I'm about to, kind of retire here coming up. I want to stay in Miami. I've made an imprint here, which he has, and he wants his money. So I see it from both sides, and it's a bit of a sticky situation, man. But what it comes down to for me, I'm upset overall because I feel like we failed Jimmy Butler. By that meaning Pat Riley and the front office. I believe that the Heat have failed Jimmy Butler. And what I mean was what I was getting to at earlier in this video, which was not getting somebody that was ready to go to war with Jimmy while we had a window. Listen, a window in the NBA, that thing comes and goes, man. You might have 3 years, like a 3 to 4 year window. You're lucky if you have more than that. And you have to take advantage of that 3 to 4 year window. What do I mean by that? When the Miami Heat made it to the NBA Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers, the Miami Heat should have done everything they could have to improve their team to go swinging again. They improved their team very minimal. Think about it. They never gave Jimmy Butler that next ride or die star to go out there and go to war with. All right. They never did. They had flirted with the idea. Remember, James Harden was a thing. This was Houston James Harden. All right. Before, things ended up differently with James Harden. At the time when James Harden wanted to be a Miami Heat, the Heat were unwilling to pull the trigger to send Tyler Hero in a package. Remember that. There was another instance. Kyrie Irving also was available. The Heat couldn't get a deal done there. Kevin Durant mentioned that he wanted to go to Phoenix or Miami. They couldn't get a deal done there. Donovan Mitchell wanted to be a Heat. They didn't get that done. Damian Lillard wanted to be a Heat. The Heat couldn't get that done. Now, mind you, Portland's GM was being a little bit of an ass, you can say, and the Heat tried, but at the end of the day, no dice. And think about it, man. For the amount of time that the Miami Heat have held on to Tyler Hero, have held on to these players who are great players. Tyler Hero is a great player, in my opinion. And he's a guy that is going to get better and better. My thing is that at the time of your window, I mentioned to you, you got like a 4-year window. You have to capitalize that. And that means making hard decisions where you might have to trade a young up and coming guy like Tyler Hero at the time to go get yourself a second all-star to kind of ride this thing out with Jimmy. And you can argue if you had KD and Jimmy, if you had Kyrie and Jimmy, maybe you end up winning the championship when you play Denver a couple of years later. You just never know. I think you have a better shot. Listen, Tyler Hero is a great player, but my thing is that moment, he wasn't ready. He wasn't the Tyler Hero that he's at right now, or that we're going to have next year or the year after that. He wasn't that at the moment. And because the Heat didn't want to make that move, the window came by and no dice for us. No championship, a couple finals runs. I mean, some great moments in Heat basketball, some great, magnificent performances from Jimmy Butler, things that Heat fans will never forget, including myself. Some of the most fun I've had, man, watching games, going to events and watching these guys ball out. But it stings, man. It stings because I really feel like we should have done right by Jimmy and kind of give him that second guy to go to war with, man. And unfortunately, Bam and Tyler weren't those guys at that moment. And they probably will be. They're getting better each and every year. And I love those guys. My thing is that they were too young in the moment while Jimmy was kind of way, way ahead of the time. We had a chance and we just kept coming back with either the same team or the same team minus a couple people. Mind you, we are coming every single year with Jimmy Butler, Bam, Tyler, Duncan Robinson, every single year for the last like 5 to 6 seasons. Look at these other teams. Boston got far, lost, right? Went through a couple growing pains. And what did they do? They added a Drew Holiday. They added a Kristaps Porzingis, and then they win the championship. These are things that you have to do. You don't come back with less or the same team. You have to try to retool and go out there and put yourself in a position to win the championship while you have the window open. Boston executed that, man. Denver Nuggets, they were kind of flirting, right? What did they do? They added an Aaron Gordon and a Contavious Caldwell Pope, and then they ended up winning the championship. Little moves like that. It doesn't have to be a big whale. Also, just making some type of critical moves, and the Heat were unable to do that during this whole Jimmy Butler run, and it's sad. Look at the Dallas Mavericks. They just made it to the NBA Finals with guys like Kyrie and Luka, PJ Washington, Gaffer. What do? They bring back that whole team and bring back Klay Thompson. Hey, Klay Thompson obviously has lost a step, but there goes to show you that's a team that's willing to go all the way and willing to go all in. When you kind of play both ways, the window comes and goes. And that's what I feel like has happened with this Heat team. And it stings, man. But honestly, as for Jimmy Butler, I don't think he's a villain at all. I'm forever grateful for the memories that he's bought. But I do think it's time to go, man. Like, it's time to get rid of him. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalize on our window, so now you try again. You have Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo as two core pieces that are getting better each and every year, especially Tyler this year. He's unbelievable. It's time to just kind of dial back the clock a little bit so that when Tyler and Bam are ready, you have another opportunity at a window. Try to get yourself another piece. Where do I think Jimmy Butler goes? Where would I like to see him go? I would like to see him go to Golden State because I'm very interested in Jonathan Kuminga and a pick. If you can get a first-round pick out of them and Jonathan Kuminga is a lottery pick who has tons of potential. All right, he's shown so many flashes in Golden State. He's already well coached with Steve Kerr. Coming into Spoelstra's system, he'll just take off. I see plenty of I see the stock rising with him. I would love to see that. That's where I think that Jimmy Butler will end up going, but we shall see, man. I mean, these reports came out today, earlier after yesterday that Jimmy Butler indicated that he wants to be traded, and open to playing anywhere other than Miami. So things got sour quick. First, he said that he wanted to go to either Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, or Golden State. And now he's opened it to pretty much like, yo, just get me out of here, which is crazy. Another thing, that ended up happening. And Jimmy Butler was suspended for 7 games for multiple instances of code conduct detrimental to the team over the course of the season, and particularly the last several weeks. So Pat Riley's not playing any games. He's suspending Jimmy Butler. That's crazy, man. That was crazy. That was shocking news. And then obviously after Pat Riley denied, wanting to trade Jimmy Butler, he now says, Jimmy Butler, it's clear that he doesn't want to be part of this team. So therefore, we are listening to offers. Pretty much the best offer is going to win, in my opinion. But I think, and they also filed the National Basketball Players Association also filing a grievance to dispute the 7-game suspension. It likely won't stop the suspension. He'll probably still be suspended, but things have gotten messy very, very quickly, man. I think the suspension is kind of crazy, but Jimmy Butler, obviously, the last couple games, if you watch, him shooting 5 shots, him really just standing in the corner there, it just didn't seem like he was engaged. It didn't seem like he wanted to be there at all. It was not the Jimmy Butler that you're used to seeing. Then he went in the press conference and said, hey, I did my job, right? I was defending my guy and all that, but it's like, come on, man. Like, you're not going to play us out, absolutely throwing Spo under the bus, which I think is unfortunate and sucks here because I love Coach Spo and I think he's an awesome coach. And, Pat Riley stands with his guys. So that's why Pat Riley kind of had to do something here. But you got to get Jimmy out of here. This is a guy that has checked out. This is a guy that's literally treating this like a 9-to-5 job. I clock in at 9. I leave at exactly 5 o'clock. I did what I did to do. But I'm capable of more. But I did whatever my job description says. That is the type of time Jimmy Butler's on. And the Heat have to go ahead and make this move ASAP, man. You want to make this move ASAP so that way Spoelstra has enough time to kind of get his new guys ready and try to go at least make a little playoff push, make some noise in the playoffs. If you don't get to the finals, which I doubt, at least kind of have whatever new core of guys is the route that we're going on, get them as much experience as you can because you're in the Eastern Conference. So you're most likely getting to the playoffs regardless. All right. I think this Heat team makes at least a play-in game. There's no doubt about it. So you're going to gain some type of experience, but it's time to start heading in the right direction. But those are my thoughts and takeaways on the Jimmy Butler situation. It is a sad time for us Heat fans, but we'll be all right. All right. We're a team that's coached by Spo, ran by Pat Riley. Even though he swung and missed at a couple of guys lately, we're still a team that, has a standard. And with that standard and that culture and everything that we're about, I think we're always going to be trending in the right direction, no matter who's here. I mean, we are a team that finds undrafted guys and makes them players. We're going to be all right. All right. And it's a little bit of a step back, but it does sting, man. Jimmy Butler, I am absolutely thankful for all the memories that you have gave Heat Nation over these couple of years, man. It's been a hell of a ride. Wish they got you another guy, man, because Jimmy was just that player. He just fit. He fit the culture. And I'm going to miss the hell out of him, to be honest. But it's definitely time to move on, man. From both sides, it just doesn't make sense anymore. As a Heat fan, I just hope we get a good deal for it. Obviously, this doesn't help our case. Things are getting very, very messy. But hopefully we get a good deal. And that's it. Guys, hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment below on what you feel, if you agree with me and how you feel about this Jimmy Butler situation. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys next time.